Hello everyone, my name is Diana. I'm the owner of From My Scrap Room on Etsy. It has been a while since I've done a long form video, so I'm going to give it a go. I've been working on my tag of the day videos, and between that and the editing and regular life, I feel like I'm only doing tags. But today I want to do something different. So, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. If you haven't been here before, welcome. I am going to be working on some belly bands today. I'm using a lot of the snippets. I've been making a lot of snippets, using them in my tags. And then I've also been actually selling quite a few, which is great. So I need to make some more, but I had an idea of creating a belly band using the snippets and the small pieces that I have. So I have some out here. I'm going to go with using mostly numbers, and these are some things that I've stamped, things I've collected. I believe this might have been a printable. It was in a swap. Things I've, like I said, stamped. This is from a piece of cardstock. This is from a piece of pattern paper. So I have a bunch of different ones. So when I get them small, I just stick them in the number snippets container that I have on my desk, and even small pieces like this. This is leftover from a paper bingo card. So I just leave those in the drawer. So when I'm looking for a number, I can pull out the drawer and kind of dig through and look. I also have tags. These are tags that I stamp and hand cut. These are the blank ones. I also do, not tags, sorry, labels. That's what I meant, labels. I'll stamp a bunch of labels on either single-sided pattern paper or coffee dyed paper, or even this was white with inked backgrounds, things that when I'm playing with them, I don't just throw it away. I'll keep it, and sometimes I'll punch it out or I'll stamp on it and cut. So that's what these are. These are labels that I've stamped and then added additional items to, additional stamps to. Oh, sorry, my fan is going at a high rate today. It is starting to get warm here in California, and the sun comes in my window in the afternoon and it gets very warm in here. So to keep the dogs out and the tippy tappy of nails and the whining of wanting to go in and out, I have to shut the door. As soon as I do that, it gets really hot. So hopefully you don't hear too much of the fan. I know it is blowing papers, but I will do my best to keep everything so that you can see it. But anyways, I digress. Back to my labels. These are labels that I've stamped and cut out. So I've shown these before, but I have them sorted in different ways. Some of them are duplicate ideas, duplicate numbers, but some I have in my numbers snippets drawer, and some I have in my stamped label drawer, just because I'm not sure what I'm looking for when I'm looking for it. But this helps me to know what I have or where they are. So we're going to use these. I have a piece of, this is just copy paper that has been tea dyed. It's just regular copy paper. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use these. I have my art glitter glue that I'm going to use. I also have my UHU glue stick, which I do often use when I'm collaging. So I have those things out. I have my little glue book here. This is just an old advertising magazine that I use to work on when I'm gluing off to the side. So I have those things out. I also have some old game pieces, Monopoly money. If you're a vintage treasure hunter and like lots of game pieces or old things, these are fun to use when you're crafting. So I have a stash of those as well. I've used old game pieces quite often. But today we're looking for numbers. So those have numbers, so I pulled that out. I've also have just some random old, these were like maybe a newsletter or old papers that came out of a box, and these have numbers on them. Random things that you save. Old, not old. This is pattern paper that has the ruler measurements on it. So I pulled that out because that's another number thing. I have tickets that I pulled out. These are just miscellaneous, either in swaps, old vintage tickets, some are stamped. So I have all these things with numbers that I pulled out that I'm going to use on my belly bands. So to start, I'm going to take my 8.5 by 11 paper, and I'm going to cut it down to 3 by 8. To me, if you're making a 8.5 by 11 folded journal, 8.5 by 11 paper folded in half to give you the 5.5 by 8.5. Goodness sake, my brain's a little slow. 5.5 by 8.5 journal. The 3 by 8 belly band fits in there nicely. I didn't trim this one, but it's enough to give you some glue area. And then also when I am making these, they might extend slightly over the edge, and I might or might not clean it off. So I haven't decided yet. I also plan to stitch these when I'm done, but I also want to give it time because I don't want to gum up my needle on my sewing machine. So when I use glue, I usually wait a day before I run my sewing machine over it. So I'm also going to cut this down. I'm going to cut down the red. So I have some red and some yellow. So I'm going to have these off to the side as well. Because I want to use those. Okay, move that over. I'll just do one to start. And I'm basically collaging on this smaller piece, but not a collage masterboard collage. The difference being I want to see a lot of the numbers when I'm doing this. So hopefully that makes sense as I go. But I'm going to bring you in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. I might not talk through the whole thing because I'm really just gluing things on. But I do want to show it in real time. I've had a couple people ask me if I could do some videos in real time without cutting stuff out, just so you can see exactly how long it takes. So this is kind of that. So if you want to take out the amount of talking I did to get started, then you can kind of see how long this actually does take. So I have my glue book here, my glue stick, and I'm actually going to just start with the bingo piece. And then I'm going to start to layer. So I have this number strip. A tag or a label. I am going to hang it off of here just a tad. Actually, it might go this way. Yep. upside down. That's okay. Another tag. When I'm pulling out number, I'm trying not to pick the same stamped pattern. That's just something to note. There we go. Oops, sorry you guys, did bump that. Add a little distress to this so it's not so bright. one more little piece. Okay. All right. So that is just using snippet pieces. So I am going to go in and sew when this is dry. I will show you 2 more that I made already to try it out. Here's another one. That I'm going to sew, and another. So I'm just using all of the little stamped snippets, ephemera pieces that I have, some that I've made, some that I've collected through swaps, some that have come off of other books, or like game money, Monopoly money, book, I think I said that already, book pages, stamped elements. So you can use all the little things you have, all the little pieces that you go, what am I going to do that for? Do with it, I should say. And you can come up with different belly band ideas. So I am going to, these ones might be dry enough for me to stitch it. So I'm going to try and stitch one. Hopefully it is all the way dry. And then I'll show you what it looks like in a book. Be right back. Okay, here we go. So this is with the stitching. You can see that. And I'm going to leave it with all this hanging off. I don't want to trim it up. And that's the back. You could even use this as a tag if you wanted to. But I'm just going to shift these aside real quick and I'll show you on here. So if you have a journal, this one is just a basic, a beginner starter. That doesn't have much stuff in it. But you can adhere this down. You could leave it like that. And that's your page element. If you attach the top and the bottom, you can use it for a tag. Lots of those. My tag. This is the tag I just did yesterday. Just posted it this morning. But if you have tags, you can slide them underneath your belly band. Okay? So it's to stick stuff underneath. You could use it on the edge. Like I said, you could use it by itself. This is a fold over page. This one was longer. You could add it to there. And it could be your folding element if you wanted to do that as well. So, belly bands. That's one quick way, one idea with a belly band, using all the little snippets, and you can go with a theme, as I did here, number theme. You could also use your Masterboards. If you are making Masterboards, oh, where'd you go? This is just a Masterboard that I made. Let me zoom back out. Oh, wrong way. Sorry, guys. Oh, hello. Right there. Okay. Masterboard. I did this in a music book. I just used all my scraps, just glued it in. This is a good travel Masterboard. If you're going somewhere to create, going somewhere else to scrap, whether you're scrapbooking or crafting, and you have a bunch of leftover pieces, you can adhere it in here and then not bring home the pieces that you tend to want to save. So this is a Masterboard. You could also use the Masterboard as your belly band. So this, I think, is bigger than, a little bit bigger than 8.5. So I'm going to cut this, it's got a rough edge, so I'm just gonna trim this off first instead of trying to make it straight. Trim that off. And I'm gonna cut this to 3 inches. By 8 by 8. 3 inches by 8. Oh, I ended up cutting the side with a doily glue. Okay, so this is another one. Okay, I'm going to sew this one and then show you the two. All right, so here we go. Another belly band. This is just cutting it from the Masterboard. And I do have a video on making Masterboards on my channel. I can link it below. But here's another one. You can use it as a belly band. Some people like skinnier ones. It's totally up to you. Do what you like. You do you, as Tim Holtz likes to say. These are also great for tags. And I've done several videos with tags. But this has a pocket that's sewn and it can stick in there. Obviously you need to cut it a little smaller, but it works. So I think I might stick this one in. What do you think? Yep. Okay, so I'm just gonna add adhesive to the top and the bottom so that there's enough space to tuck something in. And I'm going to center it, stick it down. There we go. And then I'm going to be able to stick some tags in there. Let's see if I have any. I have lots of tags. Lots and lots of tags. Please check out my tag of the day videos. I do a process video as well as a quick reel or short, but the process video is still about 5 minutes and it tells you the steps I did to make these tags. But you could take these and stick them in. And then it could be a little pocket. You can have them sticking out if you like. It's your art journal, it's your junk journal, art journal. You do it how you like it. These are ones with flowers. They're a little shorter, so it might fit in there a little nicer. That's 49 in market pieces, and then you can have them sticking in there. So that is a belly band. Hopefully that answered the question of what is a belly band or how do I make one. And you get out your supplies and you start to create something. Until next time, I probably have a tag of the day video up again tomorrow. So make sure you check it out, like and share, and subscribe to get up to date with all of my videos. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.